go keep shooting this shit, talking about nothing.
What's up, guys? Big Kevin, Uncle Salam, the Snowflake Warrior. We're out here with the Palmetto State Armory, nickel boron 2-stage trigger. This thing ran awesome. Now, Piney purchased 2 of these triggers from the PSA website. They came in at $69.99, about $75 after tax. Had to wait a little over a week to get them, but they ran great. They were definitely worth the wait, and definitely a great budget find. We upgraded his brand new Foxtrot mic FM9 mm 5-inch pistol. We also upgraded my PSA AR-15 5.5-inch 5.56 pistol. Now, we did have some troubles initially with the FM9. The problem we had was that we bought the K&S roll pins 1/1000th of an inch too large, and they did not fit inside of his pistol. It was causing the trigger to not reset after the first shot. So after tinkering around in the middle of the desert for about 45 minutes, we finally figured out, hey, let's take the roll pins out of my PSA carbine, they're mil-spec roll pins, we'll swap them into the FM9. So if you're not familiar with the differences between a 2-stage trigger and a 1-stage trigger, a 1-stage trigger normally has no break, no grit, no grime. It has a break. It has no grit and grime. It has no take up or anything. You put your finger on the trigger, you pull it, and it's a small pull weight. Or if it's mil-spec, it could be the larger 6.5 pull weight. If you have a Geissele, Elfman, things of that nature, you can get that down to a 2-pound weight. According to some, this is a bad idea to have for a home defense weapon. I have a few friends in the military, some of them in special forces, some of them were support, but they all seem to share the same view that you don't want to have a very light single-stage trigger pull if someone comes into your house. This raises the chances for a negligent discharge, and nobody wants that when you're inside of your own home trying to protect your family. With the 2-stage trigger that PSA offers for a wonderful budget, you get a nice little take-up of about 2 pounds. Then at the breaking point, it's another 2 pounds. Once you go into a rapid fire mode and you're pulling the trigger in succession, you will not have that first take-up, so you will only be in 1-stage mode at that point. This is great for a home protection scenario, combat scenario, because like I said, you won't have those negligent discharges. You're going to be in a high-pressure situation. You don't want a trigger that's, as they might say, a hair trigger. It's so light that you're accidentally having friendly fire hit one of your loved ones. So this trigger is great for his FM9. It is great for my 10.5-inch pistol that I also use for home defense. I also have a New Frontier Armory pistol that I will be upgrading soon to shorten the barrel on. I kind of want that PDW style, the same thing that he has with his Foxtrot mic. And so right now it has an 8.5-inch barrel. We're going to shorten that down to a 4.5-inch barrel. But I will be upgrading as soon as they become available again on the PSA website to the nickel boron 2-stage trigger for that puppy. Now I'm currently running the EPT, the enhanced polish trigger, inside of my PSA carbine, my 16-inch. I'm also running that inside of my New Frontier Armory AR-9. Now that trigger works great, but it's a single-stage trigger. Inside of the carbine, I do not mind that. I'm shooting out to farther distances. I want a little more accuracy. I want the gun to not shift at all. I want to be able to touch that trigger and that round fires off and hits the same spot every time. Inside of my 9mm pistol, this is something that I will more likely use inside of the house in a home invasion scenario, in some type of combat situation. One of the biggest things we were warned about was using this 2-stage trigger with a pistol caliber weapon, a pistol caliber AR. But this thing ran flawlessly and we did not have any problems. Now I can't completely compare this to a Geissele or an Elfman trigger. Those triggers cost $200 to $300. But for $75, PSA came in right at my price point. Now this is a quality budget product. It's not a cheap product, it's a quality budget product. And there is a big difference. That means you get a lot for your money. Now, if you can afford the Geissele trigger, I would recommend to go ahead and buy that. But if you're on a budget like me, $75 to PSA for this 2-stage nickel boron trigger is an awesome deal. Alright guys, Big Kevin, Uncle Salam, Snowflake Warrior, representing for Special Farces. We are out. Peace and blessings. Have a kick-ass day.
I got beans, greens, potatoes, tomatoes.
Nuh-uh, you don't do that. I'm a grown-ass man.